This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitske. We begin with a big shakeup in Bakersfield City Hall. 17 News confirming that two high-ranking city officials have tendered their letters of resignation. Assistant City Manager Jacqui and Public Works Director Nick Fidler are moving on. Kitchen tells 17 News she has accepted a job in the private sector, adding she is incredibly grateful to the amazing staff and community members she has worked with over the years, and says she will remain involved in the community going forward. During her 14 years with the city, she also served as Development Services Director, Planning Director. Now, Fidler is going to work for the city of Menifee in Riverside County, where he will assume the post of Public Works Director there. Fidler spent 22 years working for the city of Bakersfield, much of it as a traffic engineer. He was appointed Public Works Director in 2014. Nick Fidler's last day at City Hall will be May 24th. Jacqui will be leaving her post on May 14th. Christian Clegg says the city will launch an open recruitment process immediately. And Wasco City Manager Daniel Ortiz Hernandez is resigning after 3 years of service. Ortiz Hernandez informed the city mayor and council that he would be leaving City Hall. The city will begin looking for a replacement in the coming months, saying they are prepared for a seamless transition. Well, tonight, the Bakersfield City Council is set to review an analysis of what it would take for the city to take over the lease for Sumner Train Depot in Old Town Kern after Union Pacific announced plans to demolish it. Union Pacific completed their new communication center and says it is no longer has the use for the depot. The company says if the city doesn't step in, they're tearing down the long-standing station. If the city bites, the report to be presented to council members estimates a cost of $5 to $10 million to bring the station back up to modern standards, including about $500,000 just for roof repairs. The city council has not indicated whether it intends to seek a lease agreement or let the depot be demolished. Also today, the city council begins its annual budget process. Council members reviewing an initial report from the city manager's office and finance staff, but this is just the beginning, with multiple workshops and meetings scheduled before the 2021-2022 fiscal year is adopted in June. Officials say all proposed budget details will be available to the public via the city's website, bakersfieldcity.us. Well, the City Council will also tackle the issue of police body cameras as BPD asks for more. Now, in 2019, the Bakersfield Police Department selected Annex Enterprises Incorporated as the vendor for 507 body cameras. The city then entered an amendment to accelerate deployment, but BPD says the amendment inadvertently left about 97 additional body cameras. Now the department is asking for those cameras to be entered back into the budget. If approved, the full body camera system could cost the city over $3.7 million. And the Bakersfield Police Department is also set to present a report on recommendations from the community. BPD's Community Collaborative recently held listening sessions where members of the public could give their input on different ways policing can improve here at home. That report will be shared at tonight's City Council meeting. BPD says the department will continue to seek input in policing from our community and will provide quarterly updates to the City Council. And we will have more on the City Council meeting tonight on 17 News at 5. Well, those waiting to receive a direct deposit reimbursement may have to wait a little longer. The Department of Human Services says there is an issue they are working to resolve. The department plans to have that issue resolved this week. Those affected include families receiving direct deposits for adoption assistance and kin gap. Now, in your 17 Court Watch, jury deliberations continue for the fourth day in the case of a Bakersfield attorney who was murdered in 2017. Nicholas Quintana has admitted to repeatedly stabbing Marco Vargas after meeting him on a dating app, but Quintana testified he acted in self-defense. Quintana is charged with first-degree murder, robbery, and manufacturing an assault weapon. Day 3 ended yesterday with no decision from the jury. And 44-year-old Matthew Queen, charged with murder and other crimes in the death of a man who is part of what's become known as the Bakersfield 3 case, is in court today. Queen and Bailey Despot, who have been missing since 2018, are charged with torture and murder in the death of Micah Holsenbake. A third defendant, Matthew Tyler Vandecastle, is charged with kidnapping and conspiracy in the case. Today's preliminary hearing includes testimony from witnesses and police before the judge decides if there is enough evidence to hold a trial. 17's Jason Katowski will have more on this tonight on 17 News at 5. And in your 17 Crime Watch, a man is behind bars in connection to multiple reports of arson across Delano. Delano police posted surveillance video to their Facebook page. DPD says 23-year-old Alejandro Valdeva Duran threw a Molotov at the business. Now that's a alcoholic drink with fire in it that started 2 cars on fire. Along with that fire, Duran is accused of several other fires across town. He has been charged with multiple counts of arson, along with additional counts of burglary and criminal threats. If you have any information, call DPD at 721-3377. Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic in Kern County. The worst of the pandemic is over, but our cases over the past week are slightly up from the week before. Public Health announced 103 new cases today. Our average is 43 people testing positive every day. Last week, we dropped to 34 daily cases. We also learned of 3 new deaths. 1,361 people have died from the virus since the beginning of the pandemic. Meantime, our hospitals are down to the lowest levels in more than a year. Currently, state data shows 25 people are in the hospital with the virus. Only 6 people are in the ICU. To sign up for an appointment in any location in Kern County, head to the state's website, myturn.ca.gov. You can also make an appointment to get the shot by calling 833-422-4255.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
In our 17 Business Watch, after much resistance, Peloton has agreed to recall all of its treadmills following multiple injuries and 1 death. Today, Peloton announced voluntary recalls of both of its Tread Plus and treadmill machines over safety concerns. The company is advising customers who have already have those products to immediately stop using it and contact Peloton for a full refund. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission had previously warned about Peloton's Tread Plus products last month. Well, happy Cinco de Mayo. If you're looking to celebrate, there are several events and deals taking place around town. Fresca Mexican Grill is offering a $5 credit when you place an online order of $10 or more. La Mina Cantina will be offering live music along with food and drink specials, along with Elements Venue and MG Events. General admission for that event is $15. More events are taking place all week long. Now, for more information, you can visit our website, kget.com. And if you didn't know, the holiday commemorates the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862, during which the Mexican army defeated invading French forces despite being outnumbered. Well, last Friday, we asked you to unleash your love, and the community delivered. Over $9,300 was raised for the Bakersfield SPCA during the fundraiser. This year's event was once again virtual due to the pandemic, but that didn't slow down donors. Last year, the money that was raised went toward building a new nursery for those kittens and puppies that come into the shelter. Even though the event has wrapped up, you can always donate to help local homeless pets. You can do so by heading to bakersfieldspca.org. And yesterday was Give Big Kern Day of Giving. Over $788,000 were raised for our local nonprofits. Thank you to Kern County for your generosity. Now, there is still time to give online. You can head to givebigkern.org. That website will stay open all through today to help bring in those last stragglers. Well, time is running out to attend one of the last Condors games of the season. The final home games are happening tonight, Friday, and Saturday. There's still a limited amount of tickets left. You can grab single game tickets at axs.com or purchase them all for the 3 nights by calling 324-PUCK or emailing tickets at bakersfieldcondors.com. Well, Bakersfield native Jim Ranger is set to perform in the Concert for the Causes fundraiser on June 5th at the Kern County Raceway Park. The money raised from the event will go towards the League of Dreams, Mare Riding Center, and the Wounded Heroes Fund. Jim Ranger rose to fame after being a finalist on season 19 of NBC's The Voice. The concert will take place from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. It will also feature Granger Smith, Earl Dibbles Jr., and Joe Peters and Boone's Farm Trio. General admission tickets are $50. If you want to buy tickets or learn more, visit concertforthecauses.com. Well, tomorrow is National Nurses Day, and Dunkin' wants to honor that. All day, Dunkin' will be serving a free coffee to all healthcare workers throughout the state. The donut chain will offer a medium hot or iced coffee, no purchase necessary. Dunkin' says this is a way to show their gratitude to those who work tirelessly to keep us healthy amid the pandemic. Now, you must show your ID in order to get that free coffee. And tomorrow marks National Day of Prayer, and there are a few ways you can get involved in celebrations here in Kern County. Canyon Hills Church in Bakersfield is inviting the community to meet at the Liberty Bell on Truxton Avenue at noon. Now, this is video from a previous event there. Plus, Delano residents are invited to gather at the First Assembly of God Church at 6 p.m. And if you're in Wasco, the community is invited to meet at the intersection of 15th and D Streets for an event in observance of the day at 6 p.m. Mayor Alex Garcia will also be there. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.